Okay, let's talk about a phrase you've probably heard a million times. I mean, it pops up as a headline every few months like clockwork. And that phrase is, right? You've heard it from your boss, you've seen it in the news, maybe even from relatives across the dinner table. It's this widespread complaint that younger generations just don't have the same work ethic. But is that what's really going on? Is it a lack of work ethic, or is that just a convenient story that kind of misses the bigger, more complicated picture? Well, that's exactly what we're going to dig into. Yeah, because once you push past all the chatter and the anecdotes and actually look at the cold, hard data, a totally different story starts to take shape. Okay, so this first bit of data, it completely flips the script. This idea that they're lazy, well, millennials are actually working more hours than the three generations before them. The whole 38-hour work week, for a lot of them, that's a distant memory. We're talking 45 plus hours a week. And check this out, because it really shows you the hustle. It isn't just about putting in more hours at one job. To make ends meet, almost half of Gen Z workers have a second job. Nearly 40% of millennials do too. So, if anything, they're working more, not less. So, okay, if people are clearly working and working a lot, then what's this whole nobody wants to work thing really about? Well, the data points to something else. It's not about work ethic. It's something different entirely. And here's the real heart of it. The myth, the story we hear is about laziness. But the reality? The data says it's about a lack of employer loyalty. And that's not some character flaw, you know? It's a logical reaction to how much the world of work has changed. And this number right here is the key. 3.3 years. That's it. That's the current national average for how long someone stays in one job these days. Think about that. That means a person could easily have 3 different employers in just 1 decade. I mean, this is a huge cultural shift. The whole idea of getting a job for life, start with a company and stick it out till you get the gold watch, that's completely gone. It's a relic. And the data shows it pretty much died out for anyone who started working after the 90s. So that begs the question, right? Why? Why did loyalty just evaporate? Well, it wasn't an accident. Turns out there are 4 huge shifts in how we work that really explain the whole thing. Let's just trace it back real quick. Back in the 70s, you often worked for a smaller mom-and-pop type of place. Fast forward to the 90s, and job hopping starts to become a thing. Then the 2010s hit, and wages just stopped growing. And all of that brings us to where we are today. You can see how, step by step, that old idea of loyalty got chipped away. And here they are. You could almost call them the 4 horsemen of the loyalty apocalypse. We've got the rise of giant impersonal companies, career paths that are basically a dead end, wages that can't keep up, and of course, killer commutes. Let's dive into each one. All right, first up, that personal connection is just gone. Think about it. A few decades ago, your boss might have actually known your name, maybe even your family's. But now, for most of us, our employer is some huge, faceless corporation. The CEO has no clue you even work there. So honestly, why would you feel any personal loyalty to that? Second big reason, the career ladder is basically broken. The old promise was simple. Put in the time, work hard, and you'll climb your way up. But that's not happening. Older generations are working longer, so those senior positions just aren't opening up. It's created this career traffic jam. If you're a younger worker trying to get ahead, it feels like you're just stuck in neutral. Okay, number 3, and this one is massive. The money, plain and simple. For pretty much an entire decade, from 2010 to 2021, wages just didn't keep up with inflation. It means that even if you got a raise, you were actually losing purchasing power year after year. You were effectively getting a pay cut. And this quote, man, it really hits home. It puts a human face on it. Are you really going to be loyal to a company that demands more than 40 hours of your life every week for a paycheck that can barely put food on the table? No way. The second a better offer comes along, you'd be crazy not to take it. And finally, let's not forget the soul-crushing commute. Back in 2002, the average person spent about 3 hours a week just getting to and from work. But by 2017, in big cities, that number shot up to over 5 hours a week. That's more than half a workday of your own unpaid time, just stuck in traffic or on a train. So when you put all of that together, this whole decline in loyalty, it's not a mystery, is it? It's not a character flaw. It's the only logical response to the reality of work today. I mean, it just all adds up, doesn't it? Your paycheck isn't keeping up, there's nowhere to get promoted, you're losing hours of your life to commuting, and you feel like just another cog in a giant machine. When that's your reality, being disloyal isn't just understandable, it's just plain smart. So here's the bottom line. What people call job hopping isn't a sign of laziness. It has become the main strategy for getting ahead. A lot of the time, it's the only way to get a real raise or a better title. It's not about being flaky, it's about being strategic with your career. And that leaves us with this final thought. The world of work has fundamentally changed in the last half century. The old deal, the old contract between a boss and an employee, it's broken. So maybe, just maybe, the problem isn't that nobody wants to work anymore. Maybe the real problem is that we're all still judging today's players by the rules of an old game that no one's playing anymore.